Okay, so in this question, we have a curve. We know its derivative. We know that this curve has a stationary point with x coordinate alpha, and we know that alpha is small. So let's look at the stationary part first. In a function, especially in a derivative, if the stationary point is, if we have a stationary point, that means that the rate of change is going to be zero. So we know that um, f derivative x is going to be 0. The other thing we know is that x coordinate alpha, that means our x is alpha. So we can write that as f alpha equals to 0. Now, let's write down this whole equation but change the x to an alpha. So we're going to have 2 alpha plus 1 by 2 cosine alpha equals to 0. Now, it told us to do small angle approximation to 3 decimal places. In small angle approximation, if we have a sign, so we can call this alpha or theta, it's up to you. I'm going to call it alpha. It's gonna equal to alpha. For tangent, it's also the same, but for cosine, it's gonna be 1 minus alpha squared by 2. So let's substitute the cosine up on top. So we're gonna have 2 alpha plus 1 by 2 times 1 minus alpha squared by 2 equals to 0. Now let me times that, and we're gonna have plus 1 by 2 minus alpha squared by 4, and I'm gonna times everything by 4 here to make it easier for me. So, and I'm gonna rearrange this too, so I'm gonna have minus alpha squared plus 8 alpha plus 2 equals to 0. Now I'm gonna do the quadratic formula, and I'm gonna do the discriminant, and I'm gonna call that delta. So that's gonna be 64 plus 8, which is 72. Now the discriminant, it's under a square root, so square root delta is gonna be square root of 72, which is gonna be 36 times 2, 62. Now let's do the alpha 1, alpha 2 normally. So we're gonna have minus b, which is minus 8, minus 6, 2, minus 2, and I can take out minus 2 here. Well, 2 here and minus sure, we can do that. So we're gonna have 4 plus 3 square root of 2 minus 2 1. So cut this up, and minus minus is gonna be a plus, so we're just gonna be left with 4 plus 3 2. And I'm gonna do the same for the other angle, and that's gonna be yeah, it's gonna be 4 minus 3 square root of 2. So off the top of my head, this is gonna be way too big, so it's not gonna be true, and we can search that. It's gonna be something like 8.4. Yeah, that's way too big, and it's a small angle approximation, so we choose the smaller one. And for this one, I'm not sure what the answer is gonna be. I'm gonna have to see. It's gonna be 0.24261, and it told us to do it till the third decimal place. So this is the third decimal place, and this is higher than 0.5, so our alpha is gonna be 0.243. We rounded that up, and we have solved for the A part of the question. So let's look at the B part. We have a point that lies on C, and we're supposed to find the equation of the tangent to the curve at B by giving your answer in the form where M and C are constants to be found. Okay, so let's say we have a curve. This is our point B, 0, 3, and we're supposed to find the equation of the tangent. So it can be this line here that goes through. We're just supposed to find the equation of that. So for this equation, we need our we need a point, so we need a coordinates x and y, and then we need our slope. So to get our slope, we know that in any normal function, if you derive it, that's gonna be your slope. um and that's something you have to remember. I don't know if it's gonna be in the formula sheet or not. So yeah, it's better to just remember that. So we know that our slope, which is m, it's gonna be f derivative x. So we can do something like this here. M is gonna be mm, 2x plus 1 by 2 cos x, and we can use our coordinates here, which are b0 3. This is obviously x and this is y, so let's plug in the x value here. So we're gonna have 2 times 0 plus 1 by 2 times cosine 0, which is 1. So we're gonna have 0 plus 1 by 2 times 1, which is gonna be just 1 by 2. So that's our slope. And to get our c point, again, we can use the coordinates. So now our equations look something like this: 1 by 2 x plus c. Now let's use these coordinates here, and we're gonna get 3 1 by 2 times 0 plus c. So 3 is just gonna be c. So our final equation would be 1 by 2x plus 3, and that's gonna be our final answer.